Hollywood might be all about fame and fortune, but some stars have found themselves on the wrong side of the law. From shocking crimes to high-profile arrests, here are 25 Hollywood stars currently rotting in jail. 1. Danny Masterson. Danny Masterson, best known for his role as Stephen Hyde on That 70s Show, had a fall from grace that shocked many. Once a beloved sitcom star, Masterson is now serving a lengthy prison sentence after being convicted of multiple counts of sexual misconduct. In 2017, the Los Angeles Police Department investigated him after 3 women made accusations about him between 2001 and 2003. Despite claiming innocence, Masterson was convicted in a retrial on 2 counts of unwanted advances and sentenced to 30 years to life, with parole possible after 25 and a half years. 2. Ryan Grantham. Once a promising young talent in Hollywood, Ryan Grantham's career has taken a disturbing turn. The child actor, known for his role as Rodney James in Diary of a Wimpy Kid and appearances in The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus and Riverdale, shocked the world when he tragically ended his mother's life at age 21. In 2020, Grantham hurt her while she played piano in their British Columbia home. He then loaded his car with weapons, initially planning to assassinate Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, but later decided to turn himself in. Grantham is currently serving his sentence and will be eligible for parole in 2036 after 14 years. 3. Amy Locane. Amy Locane, a name once associated with rising stardom in the 90s, now finds herself at the center of a grim narrative. She made her debut alongside Johnny Depp in the cult classic Cry Baby, and later earned critical acclaim for her role in Blue Sky, which garnered her a Young Artist Award nomination. However, in 2010, Locane was involved in a fatal car accident that resulted in the death of Helen Seaman, an NYU professor. Driving at 53 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone with a blood alcohol level of 0.23, she was convicted of second-degree vehicular homicide. Initially sentenced to just 3 years, an appeals court deemed it too lenient, and she was resentenced to 8 years. 4. Harvey Weinstein. As the co-founder of Miramax, Harvey Weinstein was a key player in the entertainment industry, celebrated for producing award-winning films and shaping careers. He rose to fame in the 1990s by producing critically acclaimed films like Pulp Fiction and Good Will Hunting, and even won an Academy Award for Shakespeare in Love. However, his reputation crumbled after the New York Times exposed years of harassment and misconduct allegations. Nearly 100 women, many famous, came forward with stories of Weinstein's problematic life. In 2018, Weinstein was sentenced to 23 years in prison, with an additional 16 years for Los Angeles charges. 5. Joe Sun. Joe Sun transitioned into a career as a mixed martial artist in the US, competing in Ultimate Fighting Championship 3, though his career ended with an 0-4 record. However, Sun's life spiraled downward in 2008 after a vandalism arrest led to a DNA match linking him to a 1990 cold case. Sun and an accomplice were involved in a disturbing case where they unlawfully detained and mistreated a 19-year-old woman on Christmas Eve. Sun was convicted of severe mistreatment and sentenced to 7 years to life. Just a month into his sentence, Sun was involved in the death of his cellmate, resulting in a voluntary manslaughter conviction and an additional 27-year sentence. 6. Michael Jace. Michael Jace's career and life took a dramatic turn following his conviction for taking another person's life. The actor for The Shield and appearances in films like Forrest Gump and Boogie Nights committed a horrifying act of violence in 2014. In their Hyde Park, Los Angeles home, Jace fired a weapon at his wife April, a decorated sprinter, in front of their young sons, aged 5 and 8. Prosecutors argued that Jace, intoxicated and consumed by fears of infidelity, acted out of irrational jealousy. He was convicted of second-degree homicide and sentenced to 40 years to life in prison. He's currently serving his sentence at California State Prison, Corcoran. 7. Jen Shah. Jen Shah gained fame as a cast member on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. However, in March 2021, Shah faced criminal charges for conspiracy to commit money laundering and wire fraud. Alongside her assistant, she orchestrated a telemarketing scam targeting mostly elderly victims, promising services like website building and business coaching that had little value. Victims included a 75-year-old named Trisha who lost $47,000 and World War II veteran Ralph Hick. Prosecutors revealed that Shah callously joked about the victim's suffering. After initially pleading innocence, Shah eventually pleaded guilty to wire fraud and was sentenced to 6.5 years in prison. 8. Jared Fogle. Jared Fogle gained national attention in 1999 when, as an Indiana University student, he lost an impressive 245 pounds by following a self-created diet centered around Subway sandwiches. His transformation led to him becoming the Subway spokesperson. However, Fogle's seemingly positive image took a dark turn when the FBI and Indiana State Police raided his Indiana home, seizing computers and DVD players. Fogle pleaded guilty to 2 charges of distribution and receipt of pictures and traveling to engage in unlawful activity. He's currently serving 15 years and 8 months at the Federal Correctional Institution, Englewood, with parole eligibility set for March 24, 2029. 9. Todd and Julie Chrisley. Todd and Julie Chrisley, stars of the reality TV show Chrisley Knows Best, gained fame for portraying their affluent lifestyle in Candid Parenting. However, in August 2019, they faced serious legal trouble, charged with tax evasion, bank fraud, and wire fraud. Accused of evading nearly $2 million in state taxes, concealing over $1 million in reality TV income, and falsifying financial documents, the Chrisleys initially pleaded not guilty. After a nearly 3-week trial, Todd was sentenced to 12 years, and Julie to 7 years. 10. Jerry Harris. Jerry Harris earned prominence through his role on the Emmy Award-winning Netflix docuseries Cheer, which followed the Navarro College Bulldogs cheer team from Corsicana, Texas. His vibrant personality endeared him to viewers, and he even caught the attention of Ellen DeGeneres, who invited him to be her show's correspondent at the 2020 Academy Awards. In September 2020, a federal warrant was issued for Harris, alleging that when he was 19 years old, he solicited illegal photos. Harris faced immediate consequences. He was arrested and accused of creating these photos. Authorities discovered that Harris acknowledged exchanging pictures with 1,015 persons. 11. Darren Sharper. Darren Sharper, who used to be a celebrated NFL safety, made headlines for his impressive 14-year career. He's known for his achievements, including 2 All-Pro selections and 5 Pro Bowl appearances. Yet in 2014, his life took a dark turn when 2 women accused him of administering substances and assaulting them in separate instances in West Hollywood and Las Vegas. Lawsuits were filed in 2015 with settlement terms undisclosed. In 2016, Sharper pleaded guilty or no contest to the allegations of up to 16 women across 4 states, including California and Nevada, leading to an 18-year prison sentence. 12. Gary Glitter. Next up is a name that once glittered bright, but now fades in infamy. Gary Glitter, the pop icon turned convicted offender, went from chart-topping hits to a long prison sentence. He has encountered significant legal challenges in recent years, mainly related to allegations of misconduct. In 2015, he was sentenced to 16 years in a British prison, but served only half of his term before being released in February 2023. However, Glitter quickly returned to prison after violating his parole conditions. He's expected to serve the remainder of his sentence, with a potential release date around 2031. 13. Shannon Richardson. Shannon Richardson is a name you might not expect to find among the elite. You may know her for her roles in The Walking Dead and The Vampire Diaries, gained notoriety in 2013 for sending poisoned letters to high-profile figures, including former President Barack Obama. The letters contained ricin, a poison featured in Breaking Bad. At the time, Richardson was undergoing a divorce and falsely accused her ex-husband, Nathan, of sending the letters. A detailed investigation uncovered her deception, leading to her conviction. Richardson was sentenced to 18 years in prison for the crime. 14. War Machine. Coming in hot on our list is War Machine. No, not the armored superhero, but the real-life fighter whose explosive temper landed him behind bars. War Machine, formerly known as John Copenhaver, was a notable mixed martial artist with a career from 2004 to 2013, achieving 14 victories and 5 defeats. However, in 2014, War Machine's life took a dark turn when he violently attacked his former partner at her Las Vegas residence, involving kidnapping, assault, and sexual misconduct, and also brutally attacking a friend who was present. Facing 31 charges, he was convicted on all but 2 counts of attempted homicide and sentenced to life in prison with parole eligibility not until 2053. 15. Kris Wu. Kris Wu was a name that once echoed through the music and film scenes with a captivating charm. But behind the glamour, the former K-pop sensation's life took a dark turn as he found himself facing serious charges. Kris was originally from Canada and known for his K-pop success with the boy band EXO, transitioned to a solo career and acting. But in July 2021, he faced serious allegations, with a woman accusing him of pressuring her into an inappropriate encounter in 2020 when she was 17. She claimed he used alcohol to intoxicate her during a purported interview. Subsequently, 2 more women came forward with similar accusations. In November 2022, Wu was convicted by the Chaoyang District Court in Beijing and sentenced to 13 years in prison. 16. Will Hayden. As the face of Sons of Guns, Will Hayden's expertise with weapons made him a household name, but his fame came crashing down when he was convicted on shocking charges. Will was unanimously convicted by a jury for assaulting 2 people more than 2 decades apart. Sons of Guns, which premiered in 2011, showcased Hayden's family-run custom firearms business in Louisiana. The show, once highly popular, was canceled following Hayden's arrest. He faced charges of aggravated assault and other crimes. At 51, Hayden was sentenced to life in prison. 17. Skylar Delian. Once poised for success, Skylar Delian's fall from grace left both Hollywood and the public in shock. Skylar Delian, formerly known as John Julius Jacobson Jr., gained fame for his role in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. After appearing briefly in the Power Rangers series and other children's shows, Delian's life got worse. His descent into crime led to the robbery and the death of a couple selling their yacht in 2004. During a test run, Delian and his wife coerced the owners and disposed of their bodies at sea. A confession from an accomplice eventually led to legal action. Delian was sentenced to death for the crimes. 18. Colin Walker. Colin Walker was a Los Angeles rapper and actor who was sentenced to between 50 years and life in prison for multiple crimes against several women. Convicted on several counts, Walker was labeled a predator by LA Deputy District Attorney Cynthia Wallace. He's required to register for life. Despite being acquitted of some charges, Walker plans to appeal. He targeted aspiring models on social media, gaining their trust before committing the crimes. Victim Sydney Stanford stressed the importance of justice. Walker's lawyer alleged that the accusations were motivated by revenge, noting that none of the victims knew each other prior to coming forward. 19. Drew Drechsel. American Ninja Warrior champion Drew Drechsel has pleaded guilty to 2 felonies. He was removed from Season 12 of NBC's competition American Ninja Warrior after being charged with offenses involving vulnerable people. Drechsel allegedly engaged in an activity with a fan he met at an event and later invited to his gym. Currently held at the Federal Detention Center in Philadelphia, he faced accusations of manufacturing videos and enticing his victims with illicit conduct. Drechsel admitted to the crimes, but claimed he didn't know the victim's age. He faces up to 60 years in prison and fines. 20. Zach Avery. The nightmare doesn't end there. Actor Zach Avery was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison for orchestrating a $650 million Ponzi scheme. He falsely claimed investor funds would acquire licensing rights for films distributed by HBO and Netflix abroad. Ordered to pay $230 million in restitution, Horowitz posed as a Hollywood insider, using fake relationships with streaming platforms to lure investors. His film credits include The Devil Below, You're Not Alone, and Curvature. The scheme, involving a fake 2015 investor report on 52 movies, defrauded over 250 investors through his company, 1NMM Capital, from 2014 until his arrest in April 2021. 21. Joe Exotic. Joseph Allen Maldonado Passage, better known as Joe Exotic, is a convicted criminal and former zoo operator from Garden City, Kansas. He gained notoriety as the owner of Greater Wynwood Exotic Animal Park in Oklahoma, and for his unsuccessful political bids for president in 2016 and governor of Oklahoma in 2018. In 2019, he was convicted on 17 federal charges, including animal mistreatment and 2 counts of a for-hire scheme involving a plan to harm Carol Baskin. Sentenced to 22 years in federal prison, Joe Exotic's story gained widespread attention from the Netflix documentary Tiger King. As of July 2021, he remains incarcerated in Texas. 22. Toby Willis. In 2016, Toby Willis, patriarch of the Willis family and star of TLC's The Willis Family, faced a dramatic downfall. The show, which aired on America's Got Talent, was canceled following allegations of inappropriate behavior involving his own children. Willis was convicted of 4 counts and sentenced to 40 years in prison, with 2 25-year sentences and 2 40-year sentences to be served concurrently. His arrest followed an investigation by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation dating back about 12 years. He was apprehended in Greenville, Kentucky, while trying to evade capture by hitchhiking. 23. Zara Phythian. The next one is all about an actress whose story has taken a shocking turn from martial arts movies to criminal convictions. Zara Phythian, famous for her role in Doctor Strange, and her husband Victor Mark have been convicted of misconduct. Phythian was sentenced to 8 years in prison, while Mark received 14 years. The charges stemmed from their mistreatment of a girl and Mark's independent problems. Phythian, a martial arts and stunt professional, met Mark while he was her instructor. Both denied the charges but were found guilty. In a victim impact statement, one survivor described the profound impact on her life. 24. Marion Suge Knight. Marion Suge Knight, co-founder of Death Row Records and a key figure in 1990s West Coast hip-hop, faced a dramatic legal downfall. While on the set of Straight Outta Compton, Knight was involved in a violent incident where he allegedly ran over Terry Carter and Clay Bone Sloan with his pickup truck. Carter passed away on the scene, and Sloan was severely injured. Knight was initially charged with taking a life, but ultimately pleaded no contest to voluntary manslaughter. In 2018, he was sentenced to 28 years in prison, with parole eligibility set for 2034. 25. Tim Zicker. Once a familiar face on the small screen, Tim Zicker's life took a dark turn when he was convicted of serious offenses. Zicker fell into a trap a woman named Snow White cleverly set up. After Zicker accused her of withdrawing too much money from his ATM card and arranged a meeting to settle the dispute, he assaulted her, locked her in a closet, and demanded a phone number for someone who could get him the money. Snow White gave him the number of a Los Angeles cop. Zicker called the officer, threatening to harm her unless he received $1,000. The officer set up a meeting and arrested Zicker, who confessed to his crime. He was sentenced to 5 to 15 years in prison after pleading guilty to first-degree kidnapping and extortionate collection of debt. If you liked this video, don't forget to share and subscribe. Also, let us know in the comments who surprised you in this list of 25 Hollywood stars currently rotting in jail.